Hey YouTube, how's it going? Well, one question is, where have I been? Well, I've been very, very tired. For most of the time, for the last couple or 3 weeks, extremely tired. And so I find myself stopping everything to take a nap 4 and 5 times a day. And in the last week or so is about when it actually occurred to me that, maybe there's a reason for that, and there is. My blood sugar's been spiking. And by spiking, I mean going really, really, really high. As a refresher, that I always make it a point to mention this because there's always some folks that don't know. Normal blood glucose readings for an average individual who is not diabetic and has not just eaten in the last couple of hours, a normal blood glucose reading is between 80 and 110. And that's in milligrams per deciliter, I believe it is. And I test using one of these little babies. And my blood sugar, normally speaking, over the last 6 months or so, has generally speaking I've been able to keep it down in the 130 to 150 range, sometimes in the 180s, which for me is actually kind of low. However, in the last couple of weeks, my blood sugar has been spiking into very uncomfortable levels of 250 to 300, and in fact yesterday I had a 360 some reading. This is what you call not good. And so I've been doing what I could to try to reduce that, try to bring it down. And it's not necessarily very easy. The first thing you think is, okay, eliminate the sugar stuffs out of your diet. I don't add sugar to anything but coffee. And for that, I actually measure it out. 2 teaspoons per cup. And that's a strict limit. I actually measure that out for every time I make up some coffee. So I've got that under control, and that's not that much. That's not bad at all. It's a whole lot better than the 6 and 8 teaspoons per cup that I used to use years ago. Yeah. And as far as foods with sugars, well, there's a trick there. You see, my food buying budget is such that I have to buy the inexpensive foods. This often results in buying canned or packaged foods and stuff like that, or as of in the last couple of months, I have had basically a lot of hot dogs, a lot of bologna sandwiches, and ramen noodles. And anybody who knows a little bit about diabetics and the right kind of diet, you know right there that those are things that are best avoided. And I would dearly love to avoid them. If only for the fact that I am so sick of bologna sandwiches and ramen noodles, it's just not even funny. I've got to the point, I used to love ramen noodles. I've gotten to a point where I freaking hate them. Because my situation often gets to the point where that's what I can afford, so that's what I end up eating. And so on. I am going to try to do what I can, starting with next month's money, to see if I can't do some things to reduce blood sugar, get it back down to where it's under control, and to where I'm not, as a result, so freaking exhausted all the time. I'm actually, in the last week, I have actually spent more time trying to sleep than I have spent doing anything else. And it's really aggravating in a lot of ways. So that's what I've been up to for the last week. And no, I haven't forgotten about that other video I was planning to do. I have actually done some work on that. And I'm going to see if I can actually get the thing made inside the next week. In the meantime, I hate to say this, but I'm ready for another nap. It's terrible. Especially since I've only been up about 3 hours. And it would be my 4th nap today. Isn't that wonderful? Anyway, thanks for watching. Take it easy.
Mr. TinFoilChef.